A fresh update this lunchtime related to the Manchester United takeover and a potential change of strategy from those wanting to buy the club from the Glazers. Our chief reporter, Carvey Solical, is with us. Right, Carvey, let's probably best to start with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos. What's their position now?
Well, I think they're actually considering making a bid just to buy a minority stake in Manchester United. Now, this is significant because up until now, we have been led to believe that they wanted to buy all of the Glazers' shareholding, although they have been looking at other options as well. But what's happened now is they're considering making a bid for just 25% of the club. And now that would mean them spending about £1.5 billion. Now, as far as United fans are concerned, the vast majority of them, this would be problematic because the vast majority of them want the Glazers to leave. And what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying, basically, is, look, I'm just going to buy 25% of United, and that would mean that the Glazers could stay on as well. So from a business point of view, this might be quite attractive for the Glazers because they would get to raise some money, sell some of their shares in United, but they would retain overall control. But what we don't know is what would the end game be for Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Would he just be happy to keep 25% and be a minority shareholder? Or is this a case of him just getting his foot in the door and trying to buy more shares in the future? I think if you're a United fan, there will be a lot of red flags concerning this development because you'll be thinking the club has been in limbo for a long time now, and just selling 25% of the Glazers' shares in the club is not really going to solve United's problems.
So that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but then there's always the Qatari interest as well. They've been there from the start too. What's the latest with them?
I think as far as the Qataris are concerned, nothing has changed. They still want to buy 100% of Manchester United. Sheikh Jassim's bid remains on the table. I think the feeling around their bid is that they are by far the cleanest and most dignified way for the Glazers to sell Manchester United. It would be a totally clean transaction. They have the money to be able to do the deal, and it is totally debt-free. I think what you've got to bear in mind as well is if the Glazers sell 25% of the club, is that going to solve United's problems? I think the Qataris would look at it and say it could make the situation even worse. Because what United need is a new owner. They need a new vision. They need a new setup. They need a new financial footing. And the Qataris are offering that. And I don't think they would necessarily get that, United fans, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe was just to buy 25% of the club.
Yeah, and I know that you've touched on that there, but it's still quite confusing. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe, let's say he does get 25% of the club, what actually changes? Are there positives for the Manchester United fans to think, OK, this could be a good thing?
Well, you could look at it as a positive development because £1.5 billion potentially would come into the club. The question is, what happens to that money? Is that money going to go to the Glazers, or will that be used to, for instance, redevelop Old Trafford? Will that be used to improve the training ground? Will that be used to spend even more money on players? Will Erik ten Hag get some of that money? So these are all questions which need to be answered. But I think as far as United fans are concerned, they have made it clear in all the surveys I've read, they want the Glazers to leave the club. And I think what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is doing is offering the Glazers a chance to stay at Manchester United. And I wonder about the fact, the way this story has come out. Is there some kind of expectation management going on? Is this preparing the ground for the possibility that the Glazers are going to stay? So that if they do just sell 25% of the club, it won't come out of the blue for the fans and be a shock to them.
Ended his association with Manchester United. Brailsford has been Sir Jim Ratcliffe's right-hand man. He's played that integral role in the overhaul of United since Ratcliffe bought that minority stake at the club in, December 2023. Brailsford, the former head of British cycling, scaled back his involvement at Old Trafford just under a year ago, but remained on